everybody, my name is Mr. Francy and welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. Okay, so today I'm doing my June 2023 monthly wrap part 1, where I talk all the books that I read in the first half of June. For a complete monthly wrap, be sure to tune into part 2, where I quickly go through these books again and then go through the rest of my monthly wrap. I do it this way because it gives me more time to chat with you all about the books that I read, rather than having to condense everything down and take a minute or less to get through every single book. So let's look at the stats for my first half of June. I read a total of 6 books comprising of 5 adult books and 1 YA. To my genres, I read 3 thrillers, 1 dystopian, 1 cozy, and 1 LGBTIQ+ book. To my star ratings, I was pretty much all over the place. I had 3 5-stars, 1 3-star, 1 2-star, and 1 1-star. So, I mean, seriously, by the time we get to my complete monthly wrap in part 2, you'll see that the majority of my star ratings were 5 stars, and then I had 1 star for everything other options. So, like, I think I had like 1 4.5, 1 4, 1 3, 1 2, 1 1. It was just all over the shop. So the first book that I read to start off the month was this book, The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. This is an adult thriller, and I gave this book 5 stars. So the premise of this book is that we follow Anna Fox, a woman who has agoraphobia. Anna is a psychologist online helping people with different things. She loves to drink, has a pet cat, and also enjoys watching her neighbours in their homes outside her window. One day, she goes outside and faints. She's brought back in by a woman who is the mother of the boy she had met earlier, who had just recently moved in across the street. That night, she sees something sticking out of the woman's front and blood coming out of her. But when the police arrive, they tell her that no one was there, and more to the point, this woman that Anna saw is not the woman now claiming to be the boy's mother. What the heck is going on here? So to my thoughts, and I have to say the book was verging on 3-star status for me up until I got through the first third of the book. It wasn't bad or good, it was just slow. But then when the action began, wow, was it amazing. This is what a thriller should be. I was thrilled from the second third onwards through to the end of the book, which more than made up for the lackluster beginning. So many twists and turns and reveals, I was on the edge of my seat. Praise to A.J. Finn, a solid thriller, which had been few and far between for me lately. And as I said earlier, I gave it 5 stars. I highly recommend this book. So the next book that I read was this book, Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. This is a YA dystopian and the first book in the Uglies quartet, and I gave this book a total of 3 stars. So the premise of this book is that in Tally Youngblood's world, looks matter. At 16, everyone undergoes a transformation from quote-unquote ugly to quote-unquote pretty, and is catapulted into a high-tech paradise where the only thing that matters is having a great time. Tally can't wait. With just weeks to go till Tally's birthday, her friend Shay runs away, and the ugly truth about the world of pretties starts to reveal itself. What if the beauty of the pretties utopia really is just skin deep? So to my thoughts on this book, and I have a number of spoilery thoughts, so you can feel free to check that out on my Goodreads, but to keep it spoiler free, this book took me forever to read, but this was mainly due to the lack of time. I grew to love the idea of the world from the beginning and marvelled at Westerfeld's version of a dystopian. However, I had an issue with Tally's choices in this book. Tally hits a crossroads at a certain point and chooses to go left when I really wanted her to go right. And you can take this both metaphorically and literally. In a metaphorical sense, I wanted Tally to do something, and instead she wanted to do something completely opposite to what I wanted her to do. And in a literal sense, I wanted her to navigationally turn left, and she'll be turning right. And it just really annoyed me. But in saying that, I did actually appreciate what Tally turning left did. It expanded vastly beyond anything I'd ever considered for this world, and for that I am thankful. The book ends with Tally turning left, and therefore I am genuinely excited to see what happens in book 2. It just annoyed me constantly that Tally kept turning right with every single choice she made, taking me further and further away from what I myself actually wanted to see. In saying that, the world is exciting. Westerfeld did a great job of creating world building in this fantastic dystopian world, and I truly appreciated that. This is a hard one to rate, as based on Tally turning right all the time, I wanted to give it 3 stars, but based on how amazing the world building was, which to my mind is the point of a dystopian, it was a 5-star read. Therefore, I'll settle in between and give it 3 stars, knowing I can't wait to get to book number 2. 3 stars for this one from me. And I will be reading book number 2 in July. So the next book that I read, oh goodness, let's put it up on the screen, was this book, Rabbits, by Terry Miles. This is advertised as an adult sci-fi thriller, and I gave this book an emphatic 1 star. Yeah, I really was not happy with this book, and I kept reading it, hoping it would get better. And to my mind, it just didn't. Okay, let's talk about this book. Alright. So the premise of this book is that Rabbits is a mysterious alternate reality game so vast it uses our global reality as its canvas. Since the game first started in 1959, 10 iterations have appeared and 9 winners have been declared. Their identities are unknown. So is their reward, which is whispered to be NSA or CIA recruitment, vast wealth, immortality, or perhaps even the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe itself. But the deeper you get, the more deadly the game becomes. Players have died in the past, and the body count is rising. Okay, so that is your premise. However, I do need to say, this is not a book where the main character is involved in a game, which is what I thought it would be. It is instead a main character obsessed with finding a game and never really getting there. If you're looking for a thriller with a game in it, trust me, skip this one and read something else. This book incredibly let me down because I did think that this was going to be a thriller game, and it just wasn't. We were following this main character who was obsessed with the game, wanted to find the game, and there are spoilers that I could say that I won't, but I will just say this. If you're going into this book because you want to see a main character play a thriller game, don't go into it for that reason, because you're going to be as disappointed as I was. So the last time I gave a book 1 star was in August of 2020, which is nearly 3 whole years ago. But that shows how upset this book made me. I've been waiting about 3 years to finally consume this book. It just never fit into my TBR till now. A thriller about a game literally screams my name, but no, just wrong, just buy. This is not a book where we follow a main character playing a game. No, this thing is a book about someone named Kay, who is a self-confessed expert of the game, whose obsession leads her to finding supposed clues that may or may not lead her to the game. This is not what you do with a book, in my opinion. This should be a bonus behind-the-scenes idea for those wanting to know what led Kay to the game. The whole look of the cover, premise, and overall feel for the way this book is promoted leads readers to believe it's a thriller where the main character is involved in a game, but no, it is not. What it is a book about Kay, who finds oddities in things that make her think she's getting closer to getting to the game. Imagine the door that's always just out of reach. That is this book in a nutshell. Who in their right mind said, yes, a book about a game where the game isn't even played makes for an amazing premise. A complete and total waste of my time, in my personal opinion. And as I said, I gave it an emphatic 1 star. I was just really hoping this was going to get better, and literally that metaphor, that it is like getting closer and closer to a door that's just out of reach all the time, that is how this book felt for me. Honestly, it just annoyed me. I wanted so desperately to read this book, wanted to read it for 3 years, and nothing happened. It was not at all what I thought it was. So if you're thinking of picking up this book because you think it's going to be an exciting thriller that involves a game, flip again and try something else. I mean, it just really annoyed me. But if you are someone who is fascinated by the idea of following someone who is fascinated by a game and would like to play the game and wants to do everything they can to find a game, then you might like the book. But if you're looking for a thriller that involves a game, skip this one. I would actually recommend a horror called The Housemates by Ian Rob Wright, in that case. But for this one, yeah, if you're looking for a game, this is a long book too. It is over 400 pages long and, yeah, just wasn't worth my time. 1 star from me. So the next book that I picked up was this book, The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This is an adult thriller, and I gave this book an overwhelming 5 stars. What a difference 2 books can make. I pick up one, really eagerly anticipating it, and it gets a really overwhelmingly disappointing 1 star, and then pick up the next book, and it gets an overwhelming 5 stars. Well, absolutely. This book, The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, deserved every 5 stars, every one of those 5 stars that it did achieve from me. So yeah, again, it's an adult thriller. And the premise of this book is that Alicia Berenson lived a seemingly perfect life until one day 6 years ago when she shot her husband in the head 5 times. Since then, she hasn't spoken a single word. It's time to find out why. So to my thoughts. Oh my goodness, yes and thank you, Alex Michaelides. I've read a number of thrillers in my life, and most of them either at best didn't work for me, and at worst were what I'd refer to as contemporaries in thriller clothing. Not this book. The premise is intriguing. Woman has murdered her husband and hasn't spoken since that time. Enter our main character Theo, a psychologist who believes he can help her. He goes above and beyond trying to assist her to feel safe, hoping that'll help, and even looks deeply into her background. Theo looking into her background helps to give a greater understanding of her life. Journal entries that Alicia wrote helps furthermore. It's all just so intriguing. What the heck is going on here? Why did she kill her husband? What the heck led to his death? And then the reveal happened, and oh my goodness, was it amazing. This book claims to have sold over 1 million copies, and my goodness, is it easy to see why. An overwhelming 5 stars. I don't want to say more than that because a lot of people feel that anything you say about a thriller is a giveaway, is a spoiler, so I won't say anything other than I fully, wholly and completely enjoyed myself with this book. The setup did intrigue me. The mystery really intrigued me all the way through from start to end, and then the reveal just completely, to coin a phrase, knocked my socks off. I couldn't believe the reveal of this. And the funny thing is, I was after I had finished the book, I was just sitting there with a bookish hangover, so overwhelmed in a good way by the reveal. Then the following day, I remembered that halfway through the book, I actually guessed what the reveal was, but by the time I'd gotten to the reveal, had totally forgotten that I had assumed that this was going to be the reveal and was blown away anyway. If you can have an author that takes you through some sort of a mystery that has you thinking something is something, and it turns out to be that something, but at some point between you thinking it's going to be that something and it being that something, you totally forget that it is that something and are still blown away, that is amazing writing work. And so fantastic stuff to Alex Michaelides all the way through. If I could give this book more than 5 stars, I absolutely would. And I am reading my second Alex Michaelides book in July, which is The Maidens. And from what I've heard, The Silent Patience is good, but The Maidens is even better. An overwhelming 5 stars from me for The Silent Patient. So the next book that I read helped me to close off a series on my SAS list, and that was this book, which is Mums and Mayhem by Amanda Flower. This is book number 3 in the Magic Garden mystery series, the final book in that trilogy, an adult cozy mystery, and I gave this book a very underwhelming 2 stars. So, the basic premise of this third book is that world-famous fiddler player Barley McPhee arrives in blustery Belwick in Aberdeenshire, Scotland, for a grand homecoming concert organised by jeweller Bernice Brennahan. Fiona Knox, owner of the Climbing Rose flower shop, is starting to regret volunteering to help with the concert. Bernice is an exacting taskmaster, and Fiona has enough tension dealing with her parents, who have travelled from Tennessee to visit Fiona and her younger sister Isla, and to reveal a secret about Fiona's birth. But when Barley is found dead in his trailer during the concert's intermission, and his death is shockingly tied to Fiona's father, Fiona discovers that there are more secrets surrounding her family than she realized. Okay, so to my thoughts. Honestly, I'm just glad I finished off the series. Towards the end, Fiona was starting to really get on my nerves, and the lack of world building with the magic of the garden annoyed me a lot. The murder was meh. The reveal was meh. All in all, it was a letdown as the final book in the series, and I'm just thankful I didn't pay for the hardcover, because this book is not available as a paperback. So yeah, it's only available as a hardcover and it was too expensive. I decided to listen to the audiobook before risking paying an exorbitant amount just for the hardcover, and fortunately I did not pay for it because I didn't like it. So there you go. I enjoyed every moment we got with Police Chief Neil Craig, and also I enjoyed every moment that we got with a side character by the name of Pressure, but all in all the series was a letdown for me because I know how amazing an author Amanda Flower is. I'm glad I can cross it off my list of Amanda Flower series though, but not a book or series I'd want to read again anytime soon. Yeah, so just quickly to elaborate on that, this is a adult cozy mystery series called the Magic Garden Mystery Series. And yet what really let me down on the whole with this series is that we really don't spend a lot of time in the Magic Garden. We really don't learn a lot about the Magic Garden. And that's not just after books 1 and 2, that's even after book 3, the final book in the series. And that's what let me down. I came into the series really hoping to learn a lot about this Magic Garden, and it felt like a promise that we were getting that really never delivered. As far as Fiona Knox, as I said, she got more and more annoying as the series went along. I liked her a lot in book 1. I thought she was okay in book 2, but in this book, book 3, she just really, really annoyed me. So yeah, just all in all, it just really wasn't the series for me. But that's not to say that I won't be reading more Amanda Flower works. In fact, in July, I'm reading book 8 in the Amish Candy Shop series, Blueberry Blunder. And I also have the Magic, Bookshop, I think it's called Magic Bookshop. Yes, the Magic Bookshop mystery series, which is another one of her cozy mystery series on my SAS list, and I am enjoying that one. So it was just this series. It was a letdown for me. As for this particular book, Mums and Mayhem, I gave it 2 stars. So the final book I'm going to discuss with you all in this first half of June Monthly Wrap is this book, How to Elude a Vampire by Alice Winters. This is an adult LGBTIQ plus spicy romance. Anyway, and I gave this book an overwhelming 5 stars. Okay, so I kind of liken this series to a spicy version of a cozy mystery in that think of a male spicy book and then have your moments where spicy things are not occurring playing out as though it's a cozy mystery. If you imagine that, that's what you get in this series and in this book. So this is the second book in the, I think it's called Vampire-Related Crimes. Yes, Vampire-Related Crimes series. And I think I gave book 1 either 4 or 5 stars, and I gave this one an overwhelming 5 stars. So the premise of this book is that we continue to follow Finn, who is a human, and Marcus, who is a vampire. Very quickly, in book 1, Finn, the human, is part of a human police force. Marcus, vampire, is part of a vampire police force that literally deals with vampire-related crimes, hence why it's called the Vampire-Related Crime series. Finn ends up joining the Vampire-Related Crimes unit because he wants to. He becomes the only human to join that unit. He ends up being partnered up with Marcus, and they not only have a professional relationship, but they also have a personal and loving romantic relationship. So in this one, we continue to follow the both of them. Finn is still very much trying to elude a vampire that's been trying to track him down. So he was trying to elude a vampire in book 1, and other things happened as well. So in this one, we're continuing to try and elude that vampire, and Marcus is trying to do everything he can to protect Finn. But what if this evil vampire does track Finn down? And what if, when he does, Marcus cannot protect him? So to my thoughts on this one, and first off, I have to mention Finn's personality as someone who suffers from a disability to the point he has a prosthetic arm and leg. Finn sure knows how to keep things fun and lively. He is so devilishly cheeky, and I smile and chuckle with every single moment of cheek. To the spicy side, this is definitely a 5 chilies level of spice book, so just know that going in. I initially picked out book 1 after hearing about the spice, so it doesn't bother me, but let it be a warning to you in case you don't like spicy moments in books. While I began book 1 for the spicy side, I 100% stayed for the characters and storyline. I had no idea I would go in looking for spice and come out of book 1 falling in love with each and every character and being so swept away by the main storyline. This continued, if possible, in an even better way in book 2. I freaking love this world, Finn and Marcus and everyone else in the vampire-related crimes unit, and cannot wait to read more in this series. So I don't know when I will be picking up book 3, but considering how my TBR is looking for the rest of the year, I will probably just go ahead and add the vampire-related crime series to my SAS list next year in 2024, and then just close it out then. But I read book 1 last year, loved it, read book 2 obviously this month, and gave it an overwhelming 5 stars, so I loved it as well. Okay. So that is the end of my June monthly wrap part 1. I will be back very soon with part 2, where I will give you a quick summary of the books we've discussed in this video to begin with, and then discuss the rest of the books that I read in the month of June. But in the meantime, what books did you read in the first half of June 2023, and which of those was your favourite? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm going to let you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do be kind and love one another, and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading. Bye everyone.